me show you a quick example. So I'm going to go into campimpact.com/director. Now, so what I did is I did those exact same prompts, right? I told the AI, I said, look, I have a camp and we're a startup, and here's the things that we do. Here's the things that we believe in. I want you to write a letter from me, right? Talking to the director. Now, the thing that I need for the camp right now is a director. I need to hire an executive director. So I gave it my mission, my vision, my values. And then I said, look, I got 3 phases I'm going to go through. I told it strong foundations, growth, development, phase, sustained growth. And I said, look, and then what I did is I gave it a few job descriptions. I fed a few job descriptions into it. I said, now write me a landing page copy that markets this director, executive director. And it did. It did a great job of it. Matter of fact, everything you see here, I'm going to say 85% of it is written through AI. Are you a leader that loves a challenge, wants to generate generational impact for the kingdom of God? Do you consider yourself a trailblazer fueled by ambition of camp ministries for relative and life-changing? If you're passionate about developing Christian leaders' faith and creating lasting impact world, then we invite you to join us as our Christian camp director during startup phase at Camp Impact. I mean, this is really, really good stuff. Now, here's what happened. I went to prompt number 6 and I said, now look at this job description and tell me what's missing, right? And you know what it told me what's missing? It said, it gave me like 6 suggestions. It's like, you're missing compensation. You've got nothing about compensation in here. You know what I said? I was like, I don't have any good compensation. Like, I got no benefits. There's no, 401k. There's none of that. Does that make sense? Like, it's saying you should have some type of compensation benefit package. And I'm thinking, I don't have any type of benefit package. And so I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just ask it to give me a benefit package? So I wrote out, I said, look, I have no benefit package whatsoever. I don't know what to do. Please write out my benefit package that would be exciting and engaging for someone to want to be a director. So put one in the chat box if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, it critiqued what it wrote, and then I realized I can't even do what it's asking me to do. And the big switch in my brain went off, and I said, oh, well, why don't I just ask it to solve the problem? So here's the big aha moment I want you to get. When you don't know, that's okay. Just ask the AI to figure it out for you. Sue, did you get that? Michelle, did you get that? Jim, yes? So watch what it wrote. Look, watch the screen. I wrote none of this, by the way. It wrote, look, personalized benefits. While we may not have the traditional benefits, we're eager to discuss and explore options that suit your individual circumstances. Purpose-driven work. Join our team, make a lasting impact on the lives of staff members and broad community for dedicated leadership. Together, let's create an exceptional Christian camp experience and leave a lasting legacy. I mean, holy cow. Steve, did you get that? John, did you get that? It told me you're missing the compensation package, and I didn't know what to write. So I asked it, can you write me a compensation package? And it wrote something so brilliant, I could not even believe it. So this is the critique I want you to do is when you get to that next prompt, always ask it to critique it. And if you don't know what to do with the critique, then ask it to do it for you. So thoughts on this? Jim, is your mind kind of going crazy right now? Steven, Sue, Tim, come on, give me some feedback. Let's go with this, right? This is pretty big stuff when you think about this is all at your fingertips. So in my opinion, again, I'm going to create some amazing training for you on all this, but this is your research team. Now you have a full research division at your fingertips. This is your copywriting team. Now you have a full copywriting at your fingertips. This is your strategic team. Now you have a full strategic team at your fingertips. So I want to let you know, on a personal level, we had a fire at the camp, and I'll let you know, I got kind of depressed. For 3 years building the camp, and we had a fire, and we lost everything, all our tools, all the equipment. It was all in a big storage facility that I built, and for some reason, is a weird situation. These two guys have been doing it for 2 years. They take their golf cart, they have all their tools, they put it inside the storage, 6,000-foot storage building, and they lock it up for the night, and they come back to work the next morning. And somehow one of the golf carts caught on fire and burnt the whole thing down, or burned everything. I lost everything. It's over $100,000 worth of equipment in there. And it was like a kick in the gut. I mean, a real kick in the gut. And I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. Not a soul. I didn't want to. I just felt frustrated, and I was like, what is going on here? This is crazy. This is such a freak accident. It was really, really tough for me. I had some really dark days. And so I pulled up AI, as weird as this sounds, and I fed this information into AI, and I said, look, I just had a fire at the camp, and I'm really struggling. And so I would like you to take out the persona of a faith-based therapist. And I would like you to give me some advice based on biblical stories that I can relate to, that can help me see any value whatsoever in the burning of this building and losing all this equipment. So just put one in the chat box. Is anybody tracking with me right now? Like, feeling isolated, something devastating happening to you, not feeling like you can talk to really anyone about it, and you're like, and trying to figure out why it's happening to you. And so when I fed this information into the AI, it responded back to me, and the message I got back was about Nehemiah. And Nehemiah was the one that actually built Jerusalem's walls. And Jerusalem had been such a huge, devastating situation. And raiders from all over had come and pillaged Jerusalem. And this was, at the time, that was God's city. And so he felt God calling him to go back and to rebuild the walls. Now, the one thing he could not do is he couldn't build those walls himself. And so what hadn't been done in decades, they did in like months. And so, but what he did is he rallied others to the cause. And what he did is he actually had a vision, and he didn't wave left or right. And they actually built these walls, and it says in the Bible, like they would build with one hand with the sword in the other hand, meaning at any point in time, raiders or the enemy could come. And so they were fearing for their life every time they went to work. And so the advice I got from the AI, believe it or not, was, you might feel like you're in this alone, but you're not. You need to build a team around you. And I was in awe. And what I did is, the next moment, I got on the phone. I started calling local churches that I had allowed the camp be used for free for the last few years during COVID. And I said, look, I've got a really difficult situation. We have a fire, and we've lost everything, and it's going to take a tremendous amount of work to clean it all out, to get it all cleaned up. Could you help? And I had 9 churches with hundreds of volunteers come out and help me through the difficult situation. And so at that moment, it was a big aha moment for me about how I can put some of the most difficult situations, difficult problems that my own mind can't get through. And because this now new technology has every data point and is smarter and has more information than any individual human being or even group of human beings, that it changed the course of my mindset within minutes and allowed God to see a different perspective. Now, granted, God works through a lot of different things, works through nature, works through his word, works through, people. And there's so many things that, faith can really get you through. But at that point in time, I never thought in a million years that some artificial intelligence system would give me some insight into what I was really going through and how I was kind of feeling a little bit sorry for myself. And I was thinking about my own circumstances and not thinking about what does God want to teach me through this. And so through that lesson, I realized I am doing this alone. It has been too difficult. I need to reach out to others. I need to ask for help. And in doing that, it took about 6 to 7 weeks, but that whole building was cleaned out. We saved as much as we could. And now it's like it never happened. And so that was my personal experience with AI where I went, oh my goodness, this isn't just some software that's going to help me with some emails or help me with some scripting or give me some strategies, or I can ask it some crazy stuff. This is a lifestyle game changer for everything we're doing. So I want to encourage you. You may be in a situation where you're struggling. You may be in a situation where you're trying to figure things out, where you're inside your own head. Some of you, if you're like me, you might journal, you might not journal. But one thing I'll ask you is, give it a whirl. Go into AI and give it a persona. You are an expert in online marketing. You are an expert in family therapy. You are an expert in church building. You are an expert in nonprofits. You are an expert in building a dental practice. Give it a persona and then ask it some of the difficult questions and watch how innovative you can be in learning from it, because it's gathering all this information. And the only other way we could do this would be the reading books would take forever, but then going onto Google and you'd have to go through countless article after article after article that doesn't really seem to help at all.